This is David Paulson, a mixed blessing for the district's homeless families who celebrated their largest Christmas party ever. I'll have that story coming up.
This is Tony Martinez. Tonight in sports, we'll tell you which team Santa brings a special playoff present for in sports.
Mother Nature's making sure Santa feels right at home in the metro area tonight as temperatures plummet once again. This is meteorologist Steve Udelson. The full details are coming up.
And there is word tonight from a U.S. spokesman that Manuel Noriega has turned himself in to the Vatican's embassy in Panama City. I'm Kathleen Matthews, and we'll have the latest news from Panama coming up on News 7's Evening Edition.
A can of peas, box of dried milk, maybe a box of cereal. Now that's not too much extra to buy and put in the neediest kid's basket, now is it? Heck no. So if everybody gives just one item to the WJLA Neediest Kids Food Drive, then we'll be able to feed thousands of area families who can use a little extra help. So on your way out of your Safeway, hey, throw something in the kitty. Won't you give now through December 24th? We appreciate your generous contributions, and thank you.
Will you tell me, did you like him? He's interesting. So, where did he take you? He made spaghetti dinner at his place. Oh. No, it was innocent. We talked and we watched the news. You watched the news on a date? Mm-hmm. You gonna see him again? Tonight. We're gonna watch the late news. Ooh, now that's interesting.
This is it. It's the Tischerati very last sale of 1989. For 3 days only, every Tischerati 80, 90, 100, 200 Coupe and Quattro is on sale with prices so low we can't mention them in this ad. Tischer's saying bye-bye to 1989, and we're going out with a bang. Remember, this could be your deal of a lifetime. So see Tischerati this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the Montgomery Auto Sales Park, Route 29 and Briggs Cheney Road, Silver Spring. Tischer Audi.
From the nation's capital, WJLA TV Channel 7 brings you comprehensive coverage of the day's events. News 7 at 6.
Manuel Noriega's reign of terror is over tonight. Good evening, I'm Kathleen Matthews. That's what President Bush is saying to the news reported just within the last hour that Noriega turned himself in today to authorities at the Vatican Embassy in Panama City. A Vatican spokesman says Noriega apparently came in alone, requesting diplomatic immunity and asylum.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make to you, and that is that a few minutes ago we received a report that Mr. Noriega had presented himself at the Papal Nunciariate and turned himself in for political asylum. Now you know all I know.
That was the first official announcement from the Pentagon. Word of Noriega's surrender in the face of a massive manhunt reached the president shortly after he had returned to Camp David. Bringing Noriega to justice has been a top priority in Bush's decision to invade Panama. We'll have more on this story following this newscast on World News Tonight. Meanwhile, U.S. forces in Panama are reporting a decrease in the amount of looting taking place. 26,000 troops are now in Panama. Romania has closed its borders and fierce fighting continues tonight. Sniper fire has paralyzed the Romanian capital of Bucharest, while the numbers of wounded and dead continue to rise. 2 American journalists covering the fighting were shot and wounded today. The revolutionary government has called for a ceasefire as citizens and soldiers fought alongside each other to topple forces loyal to ousted dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. Also today, U.S. Secretary of State James Baker says he believes the U.S. would support Soviet military intervention in Romania to help pro-democracy forces. The Soviet Union has signaled it might intervene in Romania, but at the moment says it will only consider sending medical aid. In Budapest, Hungary, more than 20,000 people gathered at a candlelight vigil tonight to show their solidarity with the protesters in Romania. Here in Washington, there was a smaller gathering outside the Romanian embassy on Massachusetts Avenue. The protesters, many of them Romanian, waved flags and lit candles to show sympathy for those back home who are fighting the secret police loyal to the hardline regime of Nicolae Ceausescu. The protesters here displayed a grave marker symbolizing the end of Ceausescu's 24-year dictatorship. Until recent weeks, Romania had been almost untouched by the democracy movement that is sweeping through Eastern Europe. Explosions at an oil refinery in Louisiana have resulted in multiple casualties, damage to buildings, and area looting. The blast took place at the storage tank area of an Exxon refinery in Baton Rouge. According to a spokesperson from the sheriff's office, there was one large explosion followed by a smaller one. The explosions were felt miles away. Windows were blown out from some businesses in the area, and there were reports of looting before police closed off the area. The Washington area came together today to provide holiday cheer to some homeless children. The annual Christmas party, sponsored by the CCNV and radio station WMZQ, was held today at the Citadel Soundstage. And as News 7's David Paulson reports, over 1,000 children and their parents basked in the warmth of that celebration.
For the Community for Creative Nonviolence, this is the 11th and unfortunately the largest Christmas party for homeless children. Sad testimony to their growing numbers. But it was a first-class fun time, complete with recording stars, television personalities, and sports heroes like Sugar Ray Leonard, who took the time to talk and listen.
Yeah, you dropped me. She was dropped me. This is my training. How are you?
This event is what I like most about Christmas. Really, honestly, more than the presents, the other stuff. I come every year, and I think it's just great.
You know, it's the time of year when it's time for giving and it's time for helping out the people that really need it. The homeless situation in America is a very, very serious problem, and these people need attention.
For 3 hours, 1,000 children and parents put their homelessness behind them, allowing hundreds of volunteers to play Santa's elves. Many, like James Mitchell, came from the district's motel shelters.
Everybody's nice, everybody's giving, everybody's sincere. My son is happy, we were depressed and sad. There's no reason to be.